Hey everyone, it's Tori and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. For today's video, I'm setting up my bullet journal for July 2023. As always, I'm starting out with a flip through of last month, and for June, my theme was Lilo and Stitch, and I did this really cute collage-y scrapbook style. My sister actually picked this theme because June is her birthday month, so I think it came out super cute. And if you want to see me set up June, I will have that video linked in the cards and down below. And by the way, I will be flipping through this bullet journal soon. It is taking me from January all the way through June, so that video should be up later this month. So if you're interested in flip throughs or any plan with me's, please make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of my bullet journal content. Hopping into my brand new bullet journal, I am going to be using this beautiful Archer and Olive bright yellow journal for the rest of the year. And here is what I set up when I was migrating into this bullet journal. I will have that video of that plan with me linked in the cards and down below if you missed it. Here is my planning page for July, and for this month I decided to do a main cabin theme. I'm actually sitting in my main cabin on vacation right now, which is why this video is going up a tiny bit late, but I was super inspired by this vacation I take every year with my family, so I hope you enjoy this theme as much as I do. And as always, all my supplies that I will be using throughout this video will be linked down below. I used a lot of things from Archer and Olive and also Stationery Pal. I do have affiliate codes with them, and those will be on the screen as I'm speaking about them. But again, everything will be linked down below if I can find them. So we're hopping into my cover page right now, and honestly, before I start, I want to apologize. I don't know if the voiceover quality is going to be top-notch because I'm basically talking into my computer when there's a lot of fans going on in my cabin, and also my computer's fan is going off and everything, so I apologize if the voiceover quality is not great. I just really wanted to have a voiceover for this video, and this is the best that I can do. But anyways, hopping into the cover page, you'll see me I guess markering in this red window, and it is to match the red windows and the gray painted logs of my main cabin. I'll actually insert a picture here of what the walls on my cabin looks like. I don't want to introduce my entire outside of my cabin on the internet, but here's what it looks like, and here's how it compares to the cover page. And if you've been around here for a while, you know that I am doing a Dutch door for every cover page this year, and this month is no different, so I just cut out a little bit around this window. And then in the back of the spread, which is also attached to my monthly spread, I am going to have these eastern white pine, specifically little pine needles around the back of the spread, because southern Maine over here is filled with eastern white pines and a whole lot of pine needles. Now I'm just rounding the corners on the Dutch door. I am actually changing up the header with this little craft paper sticky note, and I'm just going to stamp over it like I had the July header before, and that pretty much sums up my cover page. Now we are moving on to my dashboard spread, which is just a place for me to put a never-ending to-do list throughout the month, and also some events and what I'm focusing on for my goals. The decoration that I'm adding to this spread is a pine cone. If you keep looking at it, I don't think it looks like a pine cone. It looks like something that's found in a toilet, but I was too lazy to fix it, and I tried really hard to color it in to make it pine coney. I think it should have been like, the pieces of the pine cone should have been sharper, so it didn't look kind of gross, but we're just gonna roll with it. So after adding some final details like these little pine needles around my pine cone and some little like subheadings that separates all the sections of the dashboard, we are now moving on to the monthly spread. My monthly spread is super simple as always. I'm just adding this quick little heading, and I'm making the calendar grid with my 05 Pigma Micron. And this spread is always super simple because I already have all the decoration in place because it peeks out from behind the cover page, so I love that I can enjoy the design on both spreads. So I'm just finishing up on adding all the numbers to the calendar grid, and that is the monthly spread all done. We are now moving on to some trackers. So I'm starting with my habit tracker page as always, and I'm just stamping out the word habits to go at the top of this page. And I'm going for the mini calendar habit grid style this time around, and I think I fit about 8 of them on this page, as well as this really cute Zentangle design loon at the bottom, which I think came out really cool. For my gratitude log, which is always right next to my habits tracker, I am going back to an oldie but a goodie style spread. I was actually very inspired by Tracy Tyler Revel back in the day, and I just have one section that's 8 dot grid spaces long and 3 dot grid spaces tall to write one thing I'm grateful for every single day, as well as this cute little lobster down at the bottom because you can't have a main theme without a little lobster. So after just adding in some finishing touches and some outlines, we are complete with our habits and gratitude logs. And now I am going to move on to some more trackers that have to do with stress, health, and anxiety. So I'm starting out with my stress and health log, and usually this page is super boring because I honestly just make a 2-column spread to write one thing I'm stressed about each day if I am stressed about anything. And the other side is for any health concerns or anything that's out of the ordinary for my body or anything like that. But this time I am adding the bridge that I drive over to get to my main cabin. And on one side of the bridge it says stress, and on the other side of the bridge it says health. And I really think this is my favorite spread from the whole setup. I think it just kind of surprised me how good it turned out, and it just makes me really happy. And by the way, the number strips that I have down the side is something that my sister made for me. And also down the middle of the spread you'll see like all these little teeny tiny rectangles, and that is going to be in place of my yearly health tracker. I am just going to track it every single month. One color that I color each box is going to have to do with stomach pain, the other one's going to have to do with head pain, and I'm going to do dots based on my period. I know what the key is, so I don't really have to have it anywhere, but I just wanted to make you aware that that's what is running down the center of my spread. And now we are moving on to my anxiety tracker, and I have been doing a different anxiety tracker for the past couple months. It's been in a line graph style, but now we are moving on to a more doodly style like I've been doing pretty much since I started bullet journaling. It's been really good to get back into the doodling groove, but honestly, this anxiety tracker gave me a run for my money. Basically, I drew one strawberry for every day of the month, and I was going to add as many seeds as how stressed I was, basically. So if I only have one seed, I wasn't stressed at all, but if I have 4 seeds, that means I was very stressed or had a panic attack. The issue I had with this spread is I originally drew out 31 strawberries for 31 days in July, but when I started numbering them, for some reason I missed a strawberry, so I thought I only drew 30, and then in that extra space below the anxiety header, I drew another strawberry, and then as I was numbering them again, I realized I had 32 strawberries, so it was just such a mess, and the numbering was all messed up, and I tried to add black dots with white gel pen over them, but the white gel pens really weren't working for me, so this anxiety tracker gave me anxiety, long story short. So here's where the stressful event begins. You can see that strawberry right in the middle is the one that I missed, and I didn't realize it until later. So here I am thinking I messed up, and I'm penciling in and drawing in a whole other strawberry, and then I felt like I had to renumber everything, so I'm coloring over the numbers, just making black circles with my tombow furonosuke. And then this is when I realized I did in fact have 31 strawberries to start with, and I even point to it, but for some reason I still end up coloring all the numbers in, and I even color in the strawberry. I'm not sure why I did that, but I end up covering it up anyways. And then my white Uniball Signo pen was too thick with the numbers, so it couldn't fit all on the black, so I ended up covering those up. I ended up covering the strawberry off camera, and then I tried to use, I think this is a Sakura jelly roll. It sucks. I've tried using it many times. It just doesn't work. So then I slept on it and decided to use a number strip, cut out the numbers, and cover up those black dots because that was the only thing I could think of to possibly try to save this spread. So now we are moving on to some simpler logs, which is my reading log on the left side and my content log on the right side. They're pretty much the same setup that I always do, just a number strip down the side for my reading log to mark the percentage I get in my audiobooks each day, and just a couple pine tree doodles down at the bottom corner. My content log is again very simple. I just have a 3-column setup so I can track what I am posting on my Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube every single day for the month of July. And with my reading and content logs all set up, we are now going to be moving on to my expenses log and what goes on in the world. My expenses log pretty much spans over 1.5 pages, and then the second half on the right side is going to be my what goes on in the world, just list style format. And apparently I love 2-column or 3-column setups. So the 2 little boxes that are on the left side on the left page are going to be for my income and my bills. The 2 really long columns down the center of the notebook is for my expenses or outgoing costs. I also left a little bit of space in the bottom corner to draw a kayak because my family loves to kayak on the pond that we live across the street from. We are now entering the last spread of the setup, and this is my July monthly review, which is where I put some things that I'm remembering throughout the month, like some of my favorite highlights in a Polaroid picture. I also have a little section down at the bottom of everything I've been loving throughout the month that's not in the category of reading, watching, or listening to, which are the categories that I have on the right side of the spread. I just have a couple TVs to write a movie I've watched, a TV show I've watched, and a YouTube channel I've been loving, as well as 3 books to write the title of each book that I've read throughout the month of July, and just a couple sections to write any songs I've been loving or podcasts I've been loving down at the bottom. And the decoration on the spread is a bunch of lobster buoys, which is at one of my favorite stores in the center of town. They have this huge wall full of them, and I love going there every single year that we're in Maine, so I wanted to add those into the spread. I also had a theme back in 2021 in July that was fully lobster buoy themed and like beachy vibes, and if you want to check that out, that will be linked in the cards and down below. That was one of my favorite themes I've ever done. We are now entering the final flip through portion of today's video, and I want to encourage you all to comment down below what your theme is for this July, and also please comment down below a pine tree if you made it to the end of this video. I totally appreciate it, and thank you Thank you so much for putting up with this horrible audio and voiceover throughout this entire video. I truly appreciate it. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe while you're here. Also, don't forget to check out my bullet journal Instagram at Creative Minds Coffee Grinds, and also my bullet journal TikTok, which is at Creative Mind Coffee Grinds without the S. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!